2, Chapter 12, Friendship. It is Friday. Limerick, Charles and I are really excited to be going back to my place. My mum has made her usual chocolate chip cookies. She knows how much Charles loves her cookies. I don't think anyone could ever get tired of eating fat chocolate chip cookies with the big chunks of chocolate. We are set to walk home from school. It is exciting to be able to have friends over at my house. As we near Limerick's home, she says, "Let me stop in at my house to put my book bag away. You two can meet my mom." Charles looks worried. "Okay," I say, "it would be nice to meet your mom." We enter Limerick's house and it smells like homemade baked bread. Charles and I look at each other as if to say, "Can we live here?" Limerick's mom comes out from the kitchen, wiping her hands on her apron that appears to have lots of flour on it. "Hello, boys," she says in a very thick Irish accent as she wipes her forehead with the back of her hand. "Hello, Mrs. Limerick," Charles says with charm in his voice. Limerick's mom smiles and asks us to come into the kitchen. Limerick goes upstairs with her book bag, telling us she will be down right after she changes into her older clothes. "Boys, would you like to try a cinnamon bun?" Charles's eyes widen. Mine as well, I believe. These buns are huge compared to Mom's cookies. They are cooling on the counter, and each has white icing glazed upon the top. We would love to have a cinnamon bun. My mom calls them cinnamon rolls, but I think it's the same, Charles says in a very mature voice. We are asked to pull out a chair and sit at the table. Just then, Limerick joins us and her mom places 3 plates on the table. "Limerick, may I use the phone to call home? Just so Mom doesn't worry why we're not back yet." "Sure," Limerick says, and hands me a portable phone. I dial home and get my mom on the first ring. "Mom, we will be there soon. We are at Limerick's dropping off her things, and her mom has asked us to stay for a homemade cinnamon bun." I hang up the phone and I smile when I say that my mom wishes she were visiting as well. Limerick's mom asks how many I have in my family. I tell her 4 plus me. "Okay," she says, and wraps 4 delicious buns for me to take home. I feel like I've just won the lottery. My family will think so too. "Thank you, Mrs. Limerick," I say in a quiet voice. She looks at me, looks into my eyes, and says in a quiet tone, "My name is Cheryl. Please call me Cheryl." "Thank you, Cheryl. My family is really going to appreciate your kindness. Thank you." We continue on our journey homeward, to take Sky Charles for his walk, to meet Hemingway, and to have Limerick meet my family. We laugh and joke as we walk side by side along the sidewalk. As always, it's Limerick in the middle, Charles and I on either side. In through the front door, down the hallway, through the kitchen, and out to the backyard. My mom and little brother are waiting for us to arrive. My mom has dressed Sky and Hemingway in red scarf handkerchiefs today. "Mom," I say, handing her the package that holds the cinnamon buns. "This is from Limerick's mom, Cheryl." My mom peeks inside the bag like a child looking into a bag filled with candy. "Oh my," she says, "how wonderful and kind." Limerick stands watching with a soft smile. "Mom, this is Limerick, and of course you know Charles," I say with a wink to Charles. "Hello, Limerick. It is a pleasure to meet you. I understand your family has moved from Ireland." "Yes, Mrs. Finn," Limerick replies, and we all laugh because nobody really knows how to address the parents. "My name is Violet, and I am very pleased that you are able to visit today." I pick up Sky and say, "This is Sky Charles." "Sky Charles, a pleasure to meet you," Limerick says as she shakes his paw. Mom is holding Hemingway. Before long, Charles and Limerick ask to hold him. Mom has already put his harness on so he can go for a walk. "This here is Tiernan," my mom says as she picks up my brother. Limerick looks at Tiernan and says, I really like your name. He becomes really shy and starts to blush. I think it's the first time we've ever seen him blush. I think Limerick just has a way to make boys blush. Can I touch your hair? He asks. Limerick smiles and says, yes. She pulls all her hair to the front. She looks like a mermaid, and Tiernan gently places his hand on her head, touching it quickly. She has beautiful hair, doesn't she, Tiernan? My mom says. It's like yours, but a different color. We all laugh and decide to get on our way. Charles walks with Skye. I have Hemingway on my shoulder. We look like we are in the movie The Wizard of Oz, walking down the yellow brick road, or performers in a circus. It is fun to have company. We chat about anything and everything. We turn the corner at the post office to see a man sitting on the bench. He is reading a letter. I say out loud, it looks like he has just received some bad news. I've seen that look before. I ponder if the bench is just there because they know people might need to sit down after receiving such a letter. We walk slowly, knowing it is a serious matter by the way the man's head is lowered and the way the letter is shaking because his hands are shaking. He has an old handkerchief, very much like the one Skye and Hemingway have on. His is tattered, and he is using it to remove the tears from his eyes. We walk by, and he glances up at us. He must be sad, because not even the look of the five of us has piqued his interest. He just stares ahead with a vacant look on his face, like the way Charles used to look. We all can see that he is in pain, and without consulting the others, we just walk over and stand quietly next to him. Are you okay? I ask in a gentle voice. He gazes upon us, and we see a tear roll down his face. He looks at the three of us, then focuses in on me, probably because Hemingway is in his usual strange position, and, I guess, because I have asked the question. The man is silent, but we don't feel the need to walk away. It's comfortable. Ask again, I hear my gentle heart voice say. Ask again. Sir, are you okay? With extreme sadness, he holds up his letter and weeps into his hands. I look at the others, and then I ask if I can sit with him. In fact, we all just take a seat. We will just sit here until you feel a little better, I say. We sit in silence. From experience, I know this is very helpful. What are you children doing? He asks. Go and play. Sir, we were taking my dog and kitten for a walk. This is Skye, and this is Hemingway. He looks at each little face, and I can see a twinkle in his eye. It is obvious he likes animals and children. I will be fine, you three. Please, go play and continue your walk. Will you be okay, sir? I ask again. He gently nods his head and stands up. He has a cane with him. I notice the cane is extremely unusual. It looks hand-carved and of great value. That is a beautiful cane, I say as I study the beauty of it. Thank you, he says. It was given to me from my father after he passed. He was on a trip when an old gentleman gave it to him. He said that it came with a story of compassion, one to be given at moments of great importance. You see, my father had come across the older gentleman and noticed he needed help. The man thought that my father was so kind to stop and offer assistance that he extended the cane to him. My father wasn't going to accept such an extraordinary gift, but the man insisted. When my father returned to him the next day, he found that he had passed during the night and was not able to give him a gift in exchange. What was his gift? I ask. Well, he wanted to give him his address so they could become friends. Along with the address, he was giving him a fountain pen, one that was near and dear to his heart. That's a beautiful story, Limerick says in a gentle voice. The man continues, I believe my father gave the man such an extraordinary gift, the gift of friendship, even though they were strangers. And in return, the man, knowing this, gave him something just as irreplaceable. I am pretty sure there is only one cane like this in all existence. He picks up the cane and holds it up in the palm of his hand. The cane is made of wood, and it has extraordinary carvings that make a delicate pattern. It must have taken days to make that cane, I whisper. I am sure it did, the old man responds. Then he adds, I can see that the three of you stopping to ask how I was, just like you would ask a friend, was a gift today. You didn't treat me like a stranger, and I am sure my father did the same thing when he saw the man in distress. Will you be okay? I ask once more, just wanting to hear the answer that would please my heart. I will be just fine, he replies. He takes a letter and places it in his shirt pocket. I best be on my way, you three as well. He looks again at Skye and Hemingway, then studies each of our faces. Thank you for stopping today. Your kindness is appreciated. He taps Hemingway on top of his head and says, I can't bend down very well, so please pat your dog for me. Charles takes on the responsibility, kneels down to Skye and rubs the top of his head. The man laughs, and we all feel better again. Would you like us to walk with you? I ask. Is your home that way? I point down the street in the direction we are walking. It is, he replies. That would be a kind gesture, and I would enjoy the company. Limerick and Charles walk ahead of us with Skye. I walk beside the old man, Hemingway perched happily on my shoulder. It is quiet, and he is walking slowly, but we are all doing well, knowing we are helping someone who is having a difficult time. I tell the man stories of my great-grandfather. I tell him about the watch. The man replies, I ask my cane questions, and in my head I always get a loving answer. This cane that has been handed down holds a beautiful story of friendship and compassion. What better place to go for sound advice? We both smile because we know exactly what the other is thinking. Here is my home, he says shortly thereafter. Okay, you will be okay, right? I ask one last time. Yes, son, I will be fine. We stop to say goodbye, and we watch him enter his doorway. Just then he turns around and offers a tip of his hat to us, goes inside and gently closes the door. I wonder what the letter was about, Charles asked in a caring voice. I wonder if he lives alone, Limerick asks in return. It is obvious that the man has touched our hearts with concern, because we can't stop thinking about him, the man at the post office with his beautiful story to share. We arrive home and everyone is in the backyard. We walk along the driveway instead of through the house, and my dad is there to greet us as he opens the gate. Hello, everyone, my dad says in a cheery voice. Charles and Limerick, it's really nice to see you. What about me? I ask. My dad puts his arm around me, gives me a loving shake, and says, It's nice to see you too, Finn. Everyone is smiling, and my mum asks us to join her on the stairs out back. We always sit on the stairs. There are chairs on the porch, but each stair holds a special place for us. Mum and Dad sit on the top stair. My sister and brother sit on the second, which leaves the last two for us. I let Charles and Limerick sit on the third stair, while I take the last. This is good for me, because I can tie Hemingway to the railing, and Skye can sit with me. Limerick, I would like you to meet my sister Paige. You have beautiful hair, Paige remarks. Thank you, Paige. It's really nice to meet you, to meet everyone. My brother keeps wanting to sit with Limerick. Charles says to him, Come down to this step with me, and Tiernan wedges his bum between Charles and Limerick. I guess he knows where he wants to sit, my dad says with a laugh. Would you like to put on your circus show for us? Paige asks. My dad backs up by exclaiming, Yes, that will be fun, like being at a live circus, and we can be the audience. Tiernan throws his hands up with delight. I'll get the hoops. He goes into the little shed and pulls out 3 hoops. Then he goes over to the jumping bench my dad made and lowers the bar. Come on, Mum! Come on, Finn! He yells with excitement. I get the feeling he thinks it's his show and he is the ringmaster. Everyone cheers. Mum and I get up. I adjust Sky's handkerchief. Hemingway gets onto my shoulder and we line up with our hoops. My dad stands over the audience, Paige, Charles, and Limerick. Today, before your very eyes, you will discover excitement and bravery as this little dog jumps his way through fiery hoops. Charles starts to laugh and clap his hands. Watch this tiger, my dad says, pointing to an innocent Hemingway on my shoulder. Tame the trainer as he does his death-defying act of sitting on a human shoulder. Limerick thinks my dad is funny. Everyone is smiling and cheering. Welcome to the Tiernan Circus of Bravery, he announces, sending everyone into another fit of cheer. Tiernan takes a bow and points to us to stand in our usual spots. Mum and I go along with it. My mom winks at me as we can see how proud he is to show what he has trained Sky to do. Please take your seats and hang on to your hats as the show begins, my father announces in a deep voice. Sky jumps through the first hoop and the crowd roars with delight. He jumps the second hoop, masters a third and final hoop jump. Everyone cheers again, and then he starts to really perform. He jumps over the bench, then runs back to the front of the line to do it over again. We lift the hoops, making it more challenging. My dad stands before the audience. Please stand by. Please remain in your seats and remain silent as this little dog makes his way. Tiernan instructs Sky to start, and Sky just keeps jumping over and over. We keep raising the height, and he keeps on jumping. It is so much fun. Hemingway stays on my shoulder the entire time, watching his dog brother perform. Let's get the flying disc, I say to my mom. Tiernan announces he will do it. It is his show. Tiernan throws the disc into the air and Sky does this amazing backflip and catches it. Everyone cheers excitedly. We all can't believe our eyes. Tiernan throws it up again and the same thing happens. Sky catches it after leaping and twisting his body in a funny way. Wow, what a performance, my dad shouts as if he were the ringmaster. Afterwards, we all stand in a row and bow. Hemingway stays on my shoulder. He appears to be bowing too. Great show, Tiernan, Limerick says with excitement. We take our seats once again and Tiernan makes his way right beside Limerick, sitting right up close to her. We all laugh, knowing that he really likes her. We just sit around talking and sharing. Charles is telling stories that are entertaining to us all. It is hard to imagine that when I first met Charles, he wouldn't speak at all, and now that's all he does. Supper is ready, and because it's Friday night, it is pizza night. My mom has purchased the ingredients. We all get to make our own so we can have exactly what we want. It's a lot of fun. Charles and Limerick top their pizzas up with everything Mom has put out. I just like sauce and cheese. My sister just likes vegetables on hers. Tiernan keeps close to Limerick. Charles gets a kick out of that. He leans down and whispers into his ear, I like sitting close to her too, Tiernan. His little face lights up and they both start to laugh. After supper, we help with cleaning up. Then it is time to get everyone home. My dad offers to drive. Charles and Limerick say goodbye and thank my parents for the fun time. Limerick bends down to say goodbye to Tiernan. He leans in and kisses her on her cheek. They both blush. I think it was love at first sight for my little brother, as it was for Charles. We get into the truck and take Limerick home first. Thank you so very much, she says in her lovely accent. We all smile as we watch her enter her house. As we drive off, my dad asks, "Will Limerick be in one of your books, Charles?" He replies, "This is going to sound funny because I'm only in grade 5, but I predict that one day she will be my wife." We sit quietly, and then my dad says, "I met Finn's mom in public school, and I waited until after high school to finally get the courage to ask her on a date." "I didn't know that," I say. "Were you in love with Mom in public school?" I ask, bewildered. I don't know if you would call it love, but I do understand Charles when he says he feels that Limerick will be his wife. I had that knowing too. Perhaps it was just wishing, but whatever it was, it guided me. I knew I was destined to be with your mom. "I think I might write a romance novel too," Charles says. When we drop Charles off, my dad shakes his hand. "Thank you so much for sharing time with me," Charles says. As we head home, my dad mentions the backyard show. He says, "Finn, I do believe you have very special pet friends that will fill the world with laughter." I think so too, Dad. I think so too.